Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dark World. Got a little Stirling generator sitting here because what I've found is that I'm losing power with my current setup of solar panels. It's just not enough to handle all the AE2 stuff here. It's drawing too much power. I've set this here to supplement it. It's producing 80 RF per tick. The solar panels will produce 144 RF per tick, but that's only during the day. And it's just not enough to keep up really. 34, if I get other machines going. I mean, I've got other things running too. I got like machines here. The B stuff uses a lot of power and has to charge up whenever I do that. So I think it's time we upgraded our power system. And what I'm planning is big reactors. I planned that all along. And I think we're finally ready to do it. We've got enough Yellorite as well as other resources that we're going to need. So let's get to it, huh? And then I can hook up the rest of the stuff. I dismantled some of this to try to lower the load a bit, but still chewing through quite a bit. So, this is where we're going to place it, and I prepared the space for it. This is about the size I want, 7 by 7 by 7. And that's going to be at least 218 reactor casings. And we need some hardened glass for doing the windows and so forth. So I've got some of the resources together that we're going to need already. Reactor casings, this is the main thing. We're going to need a lot of these. Wow, lag's a lot of lag. Alright, we got plenty of steel still from our steelworks machine here. Just that one run gave us tons and tons of steel. Just one block of charcoal is all we needed. Yellorium, how much do we got that? So 184 I guess altogether is what I ended up collecting. Graphite, I made a bunch of graphite. This is just, oops. This you just produce some charcoal and then you smelt it the second time. So here, you get make some charcoal, smelt it, and you get some graphite bars. Not too hard, I got plenty of wood around, so it just takes time. So, we're going to need at least 3 stacks. We'll start with 3 stacks. So that's quite a bit of resources, really, but we got it all, so no big deal. It's kind of dark, so I'll turn on our night vision. And to start with, we just want to create a floor of this stuff. Basically, we're going to end up making a big cube that's more or less hollow in the middle, but not completely. And you'll see what I mean when we get to that point. So, I'll just finish this up and, well, I'll make some of the walls and stuff too, and then I'll cut back. Alright, that gives us the basic shape. I left this so I can get up on top. We're going to need to get up on top still. Next thing we're going to want, let's just do it in here, is some reactor glass. And this is pretty easy. You just harden glass and reactor casing. I think we want about 25 of those. So, grab that. And this is going to go in the front so we can look in on it. Kind of nice. That is basically a glass. So you can see inside. Slow. So lets us see inside. Next thing we're going to need are some control rods, which are these, or fuel rods rather. And this is the basic recipe for it. We're going to need 25. We're actually going to have like 5 rods, but they need to go. Whoops, and now we're out of steel. Wow. Didn't think we were going to run out of steel, but looks like we did. I guess we'll have to make up some more. Might as well get that going then. Don't have any iron there anymore. How much iron do we got? Let's see how many blocks we can make. Alright. Grab one of these blocks. I'll go back in there. Yeah, I think so. Down. We need redstone. Grab a stack of that. We need sand. And we need gunpowder. That'd probably be enough. Alright, let's just check the recipe to make sure that we get it right. So we need gunpowder on top, redstone, and then sand. Gunpowder on top, redstone, sand. Let's throw in a block of iron, one block of charcoal. And away it goes. Now this will just automatically produce as it goes, so once it heats up enough. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and start setting up some of these rods. So we don't want to touch the outside edge. We want to leave a buffer of 1 block around it. And so we're just going to make sort of an X shape here in the middle. That. Up in here. I think we're close. Is that 4 or 5? So we're missing 1 still. This needs casings around here. Alright. Good. So we need 1 more fuel rod. How's this doing? Not there yet. Alright, next thing we're going to need is reactor. We should be able to make this. So, here we go. Throw these back in here. Reactor controller. Actually, we didn't want quite so much reactor class, did we? Wow. Alright, so this one, we'll stick this probably right here. Nice easy place to access it. Can't do anything with it right now because our reactor is not actually completed. So the next thing we're going to need is a power tap. This is what's going to allow us to get the power out of our reactor. So obviously that's important. Not much use if you can't get the power out of the thing, right? I think we'll put that right there. And we'll probably throw a tesseract on the front here to pull the power out. And then we can put another tesseract somewhere else. Maybe. I'll figure out how I'm gonna pull the power out and stuff in a bit. Next we need, I think it can go in a corner like that. I might be wrong. We might need to move this over to here. We'll see. Next we're going to need some control rods. This doesn't take any steel, so we should be able to make these. We're going to need 5 of these. And we're out of reactor casings now, I think. Yeah. So we need 4 more. And they each take 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. Minus 2 is 14. So we need 14 more reactor casings. But we don't have any steel. So now we're waiting on this, I guess. Although it did produce 2 blocks so far. Okay. That's good. I can fill this up again, I guess. I think 64 blocks of steel will be enough for now. I don't know how much more use we're going to have for steel going forward in the future here, so we can always make more. It's not that hard to make. So steel. Alright. 14 of these, right? 4, 8, 12, 16 we'll have to do. So this 1, 2, 3, 4 gives us 5 of these. These are going to go at the very top of these, and it's going to be flush with the top. So on there, 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 and we still need another one of those, don't we? And that was the fuel rod. Now we're on high steel again. How's this doing? More steel. Always good to have steel. There we go. Now, take this, put it right here. So, from all experiments that I've done, I've seen other people do, this seems to be the best size to use, 7 by 7 by 7. So that's why we're just going with that. There's been a lot of experimenting going on and stuff, people doing tests and stuff. Purple and Mentat was one of the guys that did a lot of it. I did a lot of research. We sort of came to a lot of the same conclusions, and we decided this is the best size to use. Yeah, you're free to go ahead and try and look for better sizes if you want. And if you find something that works better, then feel free to let me know. I'd like to know. So we're going to need a RedNet reactor port. This is going to take RedNet cable. Come on. Is there no? Yeah, there's a recipe for it. Plastic sheets. Plastic sheets have been changed since the update. So we've got more interesting stuff we got to make now for that. Pretty sure we don't have any of this. So, bucket. We got buckets. We're going to need redstone. We're going to need 10 of these to make one full bucket. We're going to need glowstone. And not quite sure how much we need of that. And Yellorium. Well, we've got the Yellorium base. We've got some pyrotheum. Probably want more of this. This I put a recipe in for, so we can go ahead and craft that. How many are we going to need? 56, 28. And we've got 6. Leave us with 22, so I guess we'll need about 22 pyrotheum. So we'll get that crafting. Don't have enough sulfur, don't have enough blaze powder. We only got one more blaze rod. Alright. I guess we'll worry about doing all of this stuff. We'll just leave. We've got 10 available and 4. So can we only do 4 then? Yeah, we should be able to do 8. And then we're going to have to get some more sulfur, I guess. Okay, that'll give us 14. So we can do about 28, so we're going to need about 28. Ender pearls. So Yellorium. Basically, this is the recipe. It takes 2 of this, 1 of this. And it's slow. It's one of the slower recipes. Luckily I got this thing in here to speed it up quite a bit. We'll let that go. That was for Yellorium. Next thing we need, let's make a bucket of throw buckets in. So need some destabilized redstone. This is going to be for the signalium, whatever. Then we're going to need glowstone, energized glowstone, which we need about 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it done? It's done. Alright. And we'll do some glowstone. So there's that. Alright. Now, plastic sheets. So we need this, which we need to blend for. And, okay, we really don't have any dust in, do we? So let's grab some of this dust. That we're going to need. I put all the ingots in here, but I don't think I put any dust yet in here, so that we can put in there. Alright. There we go. One of those. ingot. This one's made with energized glowstone and tin, and then some silver. And then we already have the Yellorium, so let's go and cook these up. That's the only furnace I got, really, unless I go use one of these. But I think I'll go ahead and pause, wait for this to process. I should actually look to see if I got the raw plastic I'm going to need yet. I'm sure I don't. We do have raw rubber. So, we needed what? Reactor, that was for the RedNet port. We're going to use RedNet to control this thing. That'll produce 8, we only need 4, so we need 6 sheets. So 6 times 3 is 24. Alright, so I'll get this stuff prepared. Actually, this looks like it's done. Cook those up. I'll cut back once I'm a little bit closer to done with all the stuff. Alright, and we just got this stuff left. Got our raw plastic, Yellorium, signalium, aluminum. Should be good to go. So, do that. And one of those. Alright. Throw those in there. That's not what I clicked on. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then just do that, and any more casings. All right, casing. RedNet port. Alrighty. How's this doing? Not bad at all. 35 blocks. Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of stuff to finish that off. So, yeah, another thing we're gonna need. The final thing, I think, is going to be these access ports, which isn't too hard. I don't know if we got any chests in here. No. We would. A little bit. Alright, 2 chests. What else do we need? Where was it? Here. Pistons. No pistons. We need more reactor casings. So, 2 more of those. Piston. This is maybe a recipe we want to program in there. I think we got one set up here for it though. Oh, we got some pistons there. Oopsie. Throw those in. Alright. 2 of these. One's going to be for input, one's going to be for output. So we can put fuel in, pull the waste out. And I think maybe here and here. Like so. So this will be the input, this one will be the, well, let's make this one the output. Alright, so we can input Yellorium into here, or the plutonium. I'll get into that later. And this will pull the waste out, which is the cyanide. And we're going to want to make a cyanide reprocessor. We'll stick that in the middle here, and it'll pull it from one, process it, stick it back in. But we don't need to worry about that quite yet. And okay, RedNet port. Let's just stick that at the bottom here. And we're going to put something there. We'll have to make that later. For now, okay, what do we got left that we need? Just some reactor casings. We need 5 here, 5 here. So it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Plus some for here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14 plus 20, was it? It's 34, so let's make 34 more. I'll be right back. Alright, and one last one. And it's not, so I don't think this can go here. Not gonna work right there. So, actually, let's leave that here. Yeah, no, actually, it's not. Slow lag, alright. Put the power tab there. Reactor glass. See the frame of it, these edges and corners and everything, they all have to be this, not this, this reactor casing, I think, for it to work. Yeah. And there you notice this texture change, and so now we know that it's working. We can pull this up. So that's the basics of how you make it. That window's kinda, what can you do? I made one too many, I guess. So we can look at this. Now, we could operate it as it is. We'd have to fill it up with some fuel. Right now we don't have any fuel in here, we can see. 0% full, 0% depleted. We got 5 fuel rods. Shows you the capacity, so forth and so on. Casing heat. Heat of the reactor's casing. High heat raises energy output and coolant conversion. So higher heat will raise the output, which is one factor we want to take into consideration. Core heat, heat of the reactor's fuel. High heat raises fuel usage. Core heat is transferred to the casing. Transfer rate is based on design of the reactor's interior. So having high heat here will raise the output. Having high heat here will cause the fuel usage to go up. So you can get more power, but you also use up more fuel the higher it goes. And it can only go up to the maximum here anyway. Generally, I think it's better to keep it a little bit cooler rather than too hot. So we're actually going to put stuff in here to cool it. Water does a terrible job cooling. Probably one of the best things used is gelid cryotheum, and that's why I've had the bees making that material, so that we can fill this up with that and use that as coolant. That works really well. Another option is resonant ender. A lot of people like using that. Which one's better? I don't know. It's hard to say. They have slightly different properties, but they're about the same, really. This is the energy buffer. We can see how much power is in. This can store up to, what, 10 million RF? So it's quite a bit. And if you... So this will buffer up. I mean, we could run it, and even though we don't have any output going out, it'll store it up like a battery until we need it. This tells us it's offline right now. So this is the temperature, this is the flux per tick, so this is how much power we're generating. This is how much of our fuel we're using up per tick in millibuckets. Well, I don't know how much each one. It seems like they've changed, the mod author changed how much each one of these will provide when you stick it in. We can actually stick one in and see, I guess. But we don't necessarily want to fill it up just yet because we're not really ready to use it. Let's pop one in and see what happens. So we stick one in, disappears in, gets distributed around a bit. 1% full. So it gave us 1,000 millibuckets. So I guess each one of these Yellorium ingots is equal to 1 bucket of Yellorium fuel. And our capacity is 100 buckets, so we're going to need a total of 100 ingots to fill this thing to maximum capacity. And yeah, we don't quite have 100 yet, so... But we're almost to the Yellorium bees, so I can produce more. There's some Yellorium I found below mining, which I haven't harvested yet, so I could grab those as well. So we're probably going to be able to fill this up. And then there's this, the fuel reactivity. This is the second factor you want to take into consideration when, besides the heat, on what you're going to get out of this thing. And this is how heavily irradiated the core is. Higher levels of radiation reduce fuel burnup. So this is our fuel efficiency sort of thing. The higher we can get this, the more we're going to get out of our fuel, the more power. So that's a good thing. And the way you raise this, it's kind of complicated, but basically these rods will give off radiation to an adjacent block, and that could hit another fuel rod, and then it'll cause the radiation here to go up. And so having sort of a compact design like this, but having a space between, and you know, it could be traveling left here, and then it could go at a 90-degree angle into this one or whatever. You don't really know which direction the radiation will travel. So even the center rod is going to affect these other ones around it. And so this is the best kind of layout you want to have. This is sort of checkerboard pattern, I guess you could call it. Alright, so next thing we're going to have to do is work on the coolant. And I don't think I have any gelic cryothium in here yet. Nope. I've been keeping it all over here since these are producing it. We don't really have that much of it, I don't think. Yeah. So, we should probably throw some frames in that. I think it's right here. Nope. Here they are. So I'll throw some frames in there to speed these guys up, making more. And we can just use regular simple frames. These are really easy. All you have to do is string, sticks. Not too hard to do at all. These don't last quite as long as the impregnated ones, but they're a lot less resource intensive. And when they run out, you can just put more in. So you can't really automate these apiaries, but if you build an alveary, which we could do soon here. We're gonna have to do that. I got quite a bit of ascended paneling. We definitely have enough for one alveary now, so we'll probably get that into maybe the next episode pretty soon. It'll be good. But we're not going to do that this episode. So, gelid cryothium. We can't just put this in as is, because it's just like sort of dust, apparently. So what do we do with the dust to turn it into a liquid? Magma crucible. And each one of these is going to produce 1/10 of a bucket, so we need 10, so it's going to produce 5 buckets worth. Not very much. We need to fill the entire interior of this thing with it, so yeah, it's going to be a little while, so we're going to have to get on those bees, I guess, make sure they produce. That's not what I want. I want the fluid transposer, or magma crucible. So we can throw these 3 buckets in here. Goes pretty quick. And there we go. And then comes the fun part. Now, the nice thing about gelid cryothium is that you can feed it in through the top. And probably do that. Let's clear this out. Jetpack. One more. Okay. So, take that out. We can dump this in. Like so. It's not going to stay there. It's going to fall. Source blocks will keep falling down until they can't go any further. And then they'll flow out. So they're a little bit different than like water and other liquids that you know you're used to using. So that's how that works. Let's grab another bucket. And I guess these don't stack. Okay, good to know. And so it's just kind of a... You want to be careful you don't get touched by this stuff, because it'll hurt you, because it's really, really cold. And these things will fall down until they can't. They hit another one of the blocks, so these should fall up. And they are. And so this is kind of the process. We got to go through and fill up each one of these spots. So I'm going to work on that off camera a bit, and I'll come back and show you guys what I have. Alright, these guys are pretty slow producing. I got frames in here. I've got 2 of them going, and it's still not... Well, I mean, they're producing them fairly regularly, but the thing is, you need like 10 of them to make 1 bucket worth. And so it takes time. I haven't gotten it completed yet, and it's been doing it for quite a while. Yeah, not quite a bucket yet. So I got a little bit farther. Let me describe what I'm doing here. So this corner spot, I put some in. Put some here and here, so I'm kind of skipping every other one, because if you look at what they do, they sort of go to the adjacent ones anyway, splash out, and then they fall from there. This is all flowing, but I don't think it makes a difference, so we can get by with about half as much, really. Plus we don't need them in here, so it's actually maybe a little bit more than... No, it's about half, I think. So I got 2 more to go in there, so I got 3 of them in there. And I got the full back row done. So I still got this side one, and then these 3 in front. columns to do. And I'll probably work on that off camera after this episode, get that finished for next episode. But yeah, we're not going to really get it done this episode, I don't think. But that's alright. This is the power tap. So we should make some Tesseracts. I'll show you how that works. This is the Tesseract. You need to make a frame first. Just like so. And we'll make 2 of these. These stack. Then we need a fillet. Like so. So we need some resonant ender, which means ender pearls. And we need 2 more buckets of this before we do this. So let's see if we get 2 more jelly cryothium things here. We got 3 actually. I'll leave 1 there. So it's producing, but you know, when the frames run out, you gotta go put more frames in. If you forgot, then it's kind of get behind a little bit. Okay, that should fill up a bucket. Now we got this thing empty, and so we can use it. So we want 4 per frame. So we're going to want 8 altogether, because it takes 4 to make a bucket's worth, and it takes a bucket worth to fill up a frame. Put the rest of these back. And I found, this is how much Yellorite I found under 26. So that's good. We should actually grind that up. We're waiting. Up. And there we go. And then the last step is going to be like this. Some bronze and silver. And almost done. There we go. We'll do the same thing with this. Alright, and these are not going to stack. So we want to take one of these and we want to put it next to the tap here. You can right click on it and you get this interface. Leave that disabled. And now you can set it up whether it's going to send or receive or do what. We're going to want to send energy. Fluids, we don't care about. Turn that off. Items, we don't care about. So you can transfer items, fluids, and energy. And this one's just going to be used for sending energy out. And we'll put that on frequency 1. We'll call it power, hit the plus sign here, it adds it to the list. This will set it to the Tesseracts. This is the channel it's using now. Whereas this information will just set up a list down here. Alright. So that'll send power out. Now we need to receive power and put it in our power line system, network, whatever you want to call it. That's not what I want. This is what I want. And we'll stick it right here. Now the solar panel is way up there. This is where all the power comes down, so this is a good place to run off of it. And all we have to do is set this up. And is receiving energy. So it acts like a teleporter. It's going to teleport the energy from that one to this one, and it's going to power our system. We're actually doing pretty good with the power now. Doesn't seem like we're losing power, although we lose at night. And so if I don't sleep through the night, then we end up running out of power. And so we're not generating any power right now. These solar panels can buffer it up, and you can see they're buffered up, but they're slowly depleting. So it's important. If you go through the night, if you go through the day and night, then I think overall we're losing power. But if I sleep somewhere through the night, then it seems to be holding up. So I guess we're not as critical on getting the big reactor up yet as I thought we would be. So, and so much extra. So how much is that? Yeah, it's a lot of steel. Enough to keep us supplied with steel for a while, I think. So, since we don't actually need the power yet, we don't need to worry about setting this up fully yet, so I'll work on this off camera next episode, and we could set that thing up later. We don't really need that yet. We don't really need to automate this yet. So I'm going to work on filling this up and show you guys the result when I'm done with it. So that'll be next episode. Yeah. So thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed the episode, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe if you want. Leave some comments if you want. Just do whatever you want. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.